بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. So the next jurisprudential maxim is taqiyya على وزن عطية. Same rhythm. Taqiyya. And taqiyya, the simple definition of it is the practice of hiding one's belief under duress. So if a person living in a society where that society does not have tolerance for his or her belief, either practicing that belief or expressing it, then he is permitted to use dissimulation, taqiyya. And taqiyya has roots in the Quran. And this is where the school of Ahlul Bayt, the Shia tradition, they differ from others. Taqiyya is one of the foundations in our faith, and it is supported by many verses in the Quran and also many hadiths of the Prophet and the Imams. So here the author has another definition which is not vastly different from this one. He says, إظهار الموافقة مع الغير المعاند. You tend to show agreement with others who are different from you, but not only severely different from you, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, but also they are dangerous too. They are dangerous too. Meaning that if now here in this society where we live, there are many people who are different than us. They know we are Muslims. They know we have different systems of belief and practice. But then we have our own freedom. Did someone come to you one day to say, why are you Muslim? Why are you Shia? Why do you pray? Why do you fast? Why do you wear hijab? Why do you go to the mosque? No. So here, it's not allowed to practice this. There is no room, no justification to practice taqiyya in a society where you have religious freedom. It is only one, either your life, your property, your family, your career, your belongings, your house is in danger. And the danger is also different. Sometimes danger means killing. Sometimes no, it's not necessarily killing. It's harassment, constant harassment. Or there is a potential for danger in the future. Not now, but they keep your name, your address, so one day, they will attack you. So this is why some of the scholars like Shaykh al-Ansari, rahmatullah alayh, Shaykh Murtada, this is a iconic figure in the Imami fiqh, Shaykh Murtada al-Ansari, who probably died 160 years ago. Shaykh Murtada al-Ansari says, taqiyya is not only one form. Taqiyya, we have wajib, mandatory. Wajib. We have mustahab, recommended. We have Makruh, we have mubah, permissible, and we have undesirable, and we have forbidden. So we have two types of taqiyya, depending on that society where you live in. Sometimes it is wajib. It's wajib here. If you live among enemies who have no tolerance for Islam, they have no tolerance for tashayyu, Shi'ism, school of Ahl al-Bayt. Okay? Even today if you go to certain areas, you must, it's mandatory. So you have to practice it. It's not optional. No, they will hurt you. Don't say, I'm a brave, I'm like Imam Hussein, I'm his. No, you are not like Imam Hussein. At least do something worthwhile and then get killed. They should not kill you, because today, for instance, in Karachi, Pakistan, if they know you are a professional Shia, professional means doctor, engineer, someone, whether you practice religion or you don't practice. There are specific mafia designated to assassinate the Shias, professional ones among them. So here you have to hide. This is mandatory. Sometimes it's forbidden, like America here. Why do you not say I'm a Muslim? Let's say you live in a society where you have religious tolerance. Okay? It's forbidden. Sometimes it is recommended. You live in a society, half of them they have, half of them don't have. Maybe you're going to lose not your life, but they would not promote you. In some countries, they cannot fire you, but also they would not promote you, like Iraq. Iraq during Saddam Hussein. If you are a Shia, you are not promoted. In the army, you are a soldier for 500 years. You would never be an officer. They would not accept you in the Air Force, for instance. The same thing now is happening in Saudi Arabia. They cannot fire you, but they don't promote you. So here, it's recommended that you use taqiyya. You don't have to express your religious views to protect yourself. Sometimes it is permissible, 1 degree lower, whether you use it, meaning permissible, you work in an office, all of them, they misunderstand your religion. And you don't have time to go and teach and educate each and every person. You want to focus on your work. So you don't have to tell them I'm a Muslim or I'm a Shia or I'm this and that. This is permissible. Sometimes it's undesirable, makruh. Again, depending on the level of this duress, the pressure or the tolerance of that community, that society. For instance, they want to hear from you, but you decline. You don't tell them. It's makruh. In this case, probably you will benefit yourself and them. So it depends. It's not all the same. So he divides it into 5 levels, the taqiyya, not just 1 level, 5 levels, depending on who you are. Sometimes, for instance, he says it's haram. How it's haram? If you go to a society and you want to escape persecution, all what you have to do is not to reveal your religious identity. Don't tell them I'm a Shia. But don't go further, let's say, in cursing Shia and Shi'ism. Don't do that. Because by not telling them, they would not ask you. You can hide yourself. You can hide your belief. So don't go a step further by cursing Shi'ism every day or cursing the Imam, let's say. This is haram, okay? By not telling them, it's okay. You can get away with it. You can remain safe. So don't volunteer and go 1 step further. Some people, they volunteer. They become more generous. Don't do that. This is forbidden. This is forbidden. So these are the 5 levels of taqiyya. We are speaking, Dr. Ali and Dr. Umid and Janab Wa'azi about this jurisprudential maxim, which has roots in the Quran and the Hadith. And this is also one of the jurisprudential maxims which we can prove it, and it has been the tradition for a long time when the Prophet was in Mecca. Now, what are the madrak? What are the... Because this is, by the way, this is one of the points of discussion between Shias and Sunnis. Between Shias and Sunnis. Today, some Sunnis, especially the radical ones among them, they say Shias are liars. You can't trust them. Why? Because they say lying is halal. No, we are not saying lying is halal. We are saying hiding. To hide your belief, not to lie. Lying is something else. But when you face persecution or intolerance by some group or government or mafia or political party or militias, then you must protect yourself. This is exactly what the Prophet did. Not only in Islam. In the Quran we read 40:28. In the Quran 40:28, Surah Ghafir. Yes, Ghafir. Ghafir. The surah is Ghafir. Okay? That this was a practice during Musa's time. وقال رجل من آل فرعون يكتم إيمانه. وقال رجل, among the community of the Pharaoh, only one people accepted faith. The people of Pharaoh. Only one person accepted faith, and he's nicknamed مؤمن آل فرعون. The sole believer in the tribe of Pharaoh. This person يكتم إيمانه. Allah says he concealed his faith. He did not share it with anyone. They did not know about him. He would live and work for the government with Pharaoh and his ministers, and they did not know that he's the follower of Musa. Otherwise, they would, he will be dead. So this is not a new practice. And then we come to the time of the Prophet. We go to verse Surah Al-Imran 3:28. 3:28 Al-Imran. Okay. لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين ومن يفعل ذلك فليس من الله في شيء إلا أن تتقوا منهم تقات. Unless you fear danger from them. إلا أن تتقوا منهم تقات. Do not take, believers are not allowed to take non-believers as guardians, as leaders, unless you fear the danger from them. إلا أن تتقوا منهم. This is an exception. So sometimes you work for a government, dictatorial government. They have zero tolerance for religion. Let's say they don't accept any religion, or the Islamic religion, or this tradition. Here you must hide your faith and your belief. This is in the Quran. And then we have another one that happened during the time of the Prophet, and that is 16:106, Surah An-Nahl 16. Please, when you go home and you have time, look at these verses so you can remember. Your knowledge, inshallah, is going to be compounded when you go home and you look at these. God says, من كفر بالله من بعد إيمانه إلا من أكره وقلبه مطمئن بالإيمان. There is no excuse for someone who voluntarily disbelieve in God after he accepted Islam. Unless, إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهِ, unless he was forced to do so. Ukrih from ikrah. Ikrah, coercion. He was forced. They said, if you don't reject God, I will shoot you. Okay? This is ikrah, coercion. I kill your son. I'll burn your house. I'll take away your family. I destroy your life. I'll throw you out of this company. Even if it is about not just losing your life, losing your benefit. In this case, you may say, yes, I reject God. And this is exactly what happened to some of the Muslims, early Muslims in Mecca, when Abu Sufyan was torturing them. And one of them, under torture, Yasir, the father of Ammar. His father, under torture, he said something. He said, I disbelieve in the Lord of Muhammad. So they came to the Prophet, they said, Ya Rasulullah, this is what he did. The Prophet said he did right, and this verse came. إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. His heart is at peace with faith. Inside him, he's a mu'min, he's a believer. But he said it to protect himself from being killed, from being tortured, from being harassed. So it has roots in the Quran. It has roots. See, these are several verses, not only during the time of the Prophet, but preceding that time, during other prophets too. So this is one of the concepts that is mentioned in the Quran. The other one, yes.
It was Ammar then. I thought Ammar was the one that...
Some people say himself, Ammar. Some people say his father, Yasir, his mother, Sumayya. And the other one is 2195. وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَةِ. 195. This is Surah Al-Baqarah. وَلَا تُلْقُوا. Do not to throw yourself into تهلكة, destruction. Destruction. تهلكة. التهلكة. التهلكة. Destruction. Yeah, from halak. So try to protect yourself. This is why when we read the history of our Imams, sometimes we find Imam al-Sadiq, he is summoned to the palace of Al-Mansur al-Abbasi, second Abbasid Caliph. He was number 2. Tyrant, very wicked. And he would address him as what? What does he call him? Ya Amir al-Mu'minin. Is he really Amir al-Mu'minin? He's Amir al-Fasiqeen. He's a thug. He's a criminal. But the Imam, because to protect his life. Protecting his life. They had to call someone who's wicked, Ya Amir al-Mu'min. Now people say, then where is, loyalty? Where is sacrifice? Where is the bravery? Where is blah, 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 blah. These issues are very delicate. We should not deal with them emotionally. We should incorporate aql and brain and reason. Is it worth it? Let's say I go to a tyrant and I said to him, you are wicked. And then they capture me, they kill me. Is it worth it for just saying it's wicked? Or I have to do, at least if I lose my life, I do something damaging to his regime, to his establishment, to his system. Not just by standing before him and tell him, you are wicked. It's not worth it. We have to see. There is aham and muhim. Aham and muhim. Important and more important. Which is more important? We have to see. Which one is more important? Sometimes, let's argue, sometimes by telling him you are wicked, his regime is going to collapse. Let's argue. Some people say, I'm such an important person, very influential, people would listen to me, I move the masses, so I go to the Sultan and I tell him you are wicked, all people are going to jump and destroy him. It's worth it in this case. But if I tell him you are wicked and nothing happens, is it worth it? I go to jail? It's not. Aham and muhim, always. We have to weigh to see which is more important. Yes, Dr. Ali.
Thanks. You said that there was debate between the Shia and the Sunni. I mean, this seems clear cut here.
Clear cut,
I mean,
yeah.
What's the debate though? Yeah.
The debate, because the Sunnis always, they were ruling, the Khulafa were all Sunnis, the Shias, they were always in opposition to them. So the Sunnis, they see no point for taqiyya. Why do you practice taqiyya? There is no need, because they were not persecuted.
Right.
They were not killed. They were not imprisoned. They had the freedom. They had the upper hand. They were always the chosen ones. So for them it doesn't make sense, because there were no reason for it to practice it. Whereas for the Shia, there was a strong reason, because they have been always persecuted. They lost their lives, they lost their properties, they lost their children, they lost their privileges. This is why the Sunnis, they say there is no need for it. Of course, for you there is no need. Who comes after you? Show me one country that they capture the Sunnis and they imprison them. Show me one country. So for them there is no need for it, because they don't suffer anything. But for the Shias and our Imams, because they were suffering all the time, during the Umayyad time, during the Abbasid, even until now in Saudi Arabia.
But there's none of the Sunnis that actually agree with that? Is there any sections of Sunnis that agree with it? Because they can have the upper hand in the ruling, but what about the Quranic evidence here?
If they agree with it, probably there are. Definitely there are a few ones who agree. But if they want to make it their official stand, then that goes against them. That would go against them. And these riwayat, they are taken from our Imams. They don't buy it. It has to come through their own sources.
So the taqiyya wasn't banned by any specific Sunni leader? Was there any specific Sunni leader that banned it? Or
banned the taqiyya?
Yeah, or they never really...
They don't believe in it. Yeah, they don't believe in it. They don't promote this. They don't even mention it. They are silent about it. Once you Google it in the Sunni tradition, the first sentence you find that this is the Shia practice. They encourage their followers to hide their beliefs and lie to you. So if you come and tell them, if you ask a Shia and tell him, you have another Quran, he says no. He says no, the Quran is the same, because he has to do taqiyya and he has to hide his real Quran. Or if you tell him you believe that Ali is the prophet, he would say no, Ali is not a prophet, Muhammad is the prophet, because he has to follow taqiyya, because he lies to you. Okay? I was in Medina, and some of their ignorant mashayikh, they surrounded me. And every sentence, every answer I gave, he said, this is taqiyya, you are not telling me that. I said, then there is no point, I'm wasting my time, because you don't believe in everything I'm saying. So why we are wasting time? You are a liar because your religion says you have to lie to protect yourself. No, I tell them, listen, here in this society, I don't lie. I say it right in your face. We had a debate here a few years ago. I said to them in the beginning, we had two debates, one in Sunni Masjid, one here. In the beginning, I said, listen, don't accuse me of taqiyya. I live in the United States of America. Yes, in Saudi Arabia, I use this. But here, I am not allowed to use this because I am a free. You can't hurt me. Free religion, free expression, free opinion. So I'm not worried about you. And I don't fear you. So I'm not going to use taqiyya. I use taqiyya, yes, with Taliban, in Afghanistan, in Karachi, in Saudi Arabia, in radical Jazair, radical areas, but not when I have a freedom of expression. The hadith, Kitab al-Wasa'il, nowadays, my friends, the contemporary scholars today, we have different sources of hadith. Probably you studied that in the hadith class. We have the ancient, we have the contemporary. The contemporary one, they always use Wasa'il al-Shia. Wasa'il, the Hurr al-Amili is a Lebanese author. Wasa'il al-Shia is the main source of hadith now, but not earlier. This is a contemporary one. Contemporary means 200 years, not just yesterday. Wasa'il al-Shia. Wasa'il. And they just say al-Wasa'il. If they say al-Wasa'il, it means Wasa'il al-Shia. Wasa'il al-Shia lil-Hurr al-Amili. The author is al-Hurr al-Amili. Ridwanullahi alayhi. By the way, he's Lebanese, but he wrote the book in Mashhad in Iran. When he wrote the book. In his book, he has counted 65 hadith from our Imams regarding the taqiyya and the legitimacy of taqiyya. And when the hadith reaches 65, what do we call this phenomena? What do we call it? Tawatur, exactly. We call it tawatur. Tawatur means it's too much. 65, not 1 or 2 or 3 or 5. So many. Tawatur. So they reached the level of tawatur. One of them is Sahiha. So this Sahiha is also authentic. Okay, and Sahiha means what? Atiyya? Why do we call the hadith Sahiha? Sahiha. Why it is Sahiha?
Because the chain of narrations is trustworthy.
Is Imami also. Imami. Muwathaqa is trustworthy.
Oh, okay.
All of them trustworthy, but not necessarily Imami. Sahiha, when all of them are Imami, trustworthy. From Zurara. This Zurara, when you hear the name Zurara, it means that this is number one. Zurara. His full name, Zurara ibn A'yun. A'yun. This man, he was very close to the 5th and the 6th Imams, Imam al-Baqir and Imam al-Sadiq, and he narrates thousands. The other one is Hamran, 2 brothers, Ibn A'yun. So we have Zurara, we have Hamran. Okay? Muhammad ibn Muslim, and those are, top tier leaders of hadith in the Imami tradition. In that hadith, the Imam says, التقية في كل شيء يضطر إليه ابن آدم. التقية, the wording of the hadith, and I'll translate it. التقية في كل شيء يضطر إليه ابن آدم. Practicing dissimulation in everything, every field, every moment, every occasion where it is necessary. يضطر means اضطرار. It necessitates that you have to use it. In every. فقد أحله الله له. Allah made it halal for him. فقد أحله, made it halal. أحله الله له. Allah made it halal for him. Now, في كل شيء, in every field means what? Can you give me an example?
What does that say? كل شيء, what's the word after?
يضطر. يضطر, from اضطرار, from emergency, from necessity. إليه, when it is necessitated. When Ibn Adam, a human being, it's necessary for him to use, God made it halal for him. Such as what? Sometimes ibadat, your prayers. Nowadays, right now, if you go to Umrah, Masjid al-Nabi, if you have turba, they take you to jail. They put you in jail for 3 days. Believe me, if you carry a gun, they would not put you in jail for 3 days. They would release you after half an hour. But turba, this is more dangerous than atomic bomb. They put you in jail for 3 days. Not turba, if you use paper. Nowadays, they know that the Shia, they substitute the turba with paper. They take them out, send you out.
How about, sometimes we used to pray on the marble, on the corner between the...
Yeah.
They know about it now?
They know everything now. They know everything from A to Z. So in this case, you don't have to use turba, you don't have to use paper. In this case, taqiyya. All the scholars, they say you can put your forehead on the carpet, and then you don't have to repeat the prayers when you go home. You don't have to repeat, that's it.
What do we do with the hands?
The hands, because of the Maliki tradition, Sunni Maliki tradition, they do the same like us. So you can get away. Until now, I don't know what will happen in a few months, Let's see whether they are defeated in Yemen or not. It depends on political situation. Because of the Maliki, which is mostly in North Africa, Malik ibn Anas tradition, they say Allahu Akbar. They don't do this. So not only the Ja'fari, the Imami. So you can get away with it. But suppose sometimes, qunut is mustahab. Yeah, qunut, you don't have to do that. But suppose you go to an area that is very hostile, that even if they find out, then you do this. You do. Taqiyya. Fi kulli shay. To protect yourself. Protect yourself. Or sometimes, Ameen. They listen. Let's say, they stand next to you. If you don't say Ameen, khalas. Then you have to say Ameen. Okay? And others, sometimes mu'amalat. Let's say marriage, divorce. You have to do it the way burial, let's say. Things like that. So, in this case, في كل شيء, in ibadat, mu'amalat, in your relationship. One of the mustahab taqiyya is what? Not wajib, mustahab. Is that you go and participate in the funerals of the other people. Sometimes they are your friends, so you go voluntarily because you like them, you want to respect them. But sometimes they are not your friends, but you live in a neighborhood, they are watching you. Or if they don't go, something will happen. So you have to go to their funerals, to their, janaiz, to their memorials, to their... Sometimes I know someone who worked in Riyadh as a CPA.
Where is that?
Riyadh, capital of Saudi Arabia.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He said, I had to hide my faith to the extent that I had to go and do Taraweeh in Ramadan. Because they will ask me, where are you? You didn't show up last night for Taraweeh. So I can't tell them every night I'm busy, I slept, I watched TV. So I had to go once in a while and do Taraweeh. As taqiyya.
Sayyid, is there a limitation? Is there something where at that boundary you've gone too far? Like let's say, not other Muslims, but let's say Christians or Jews. They ask you, like you're persecuted if you don't do something. Let's say time of crusades or something. Is there something that is a boundary that says you cannot exceed this boundary?
No. What is it? Is it worse than disbelieving in God? Not worse than that. The Prophet said to them, you can say, as long as your heart is settled with faith, إِلَّا مَنْ أُكْرِهَ وَقَلْبُهُ مُطْمَئِنٌ بِالْإِيمَانِ. Inside you, you believe in God. So in your tongue, tell them, no, I curse God, So there is no, to protect your blood and your life, you have to do everything.
What about killing another Muslim?
Here, aham and muhim. He says, if you don't kill him, I will kill you. So if you don't shoot, I will shoot. And he is putting the gun here. In this case, your life is more important than others. Your life is first.
That's, yeah,
أهم المهم. But some people would say, I will sacrifice. Still, I know my life is more important, but still I would not do, even if he kills me. This is voluntarism, but it's not mandatory on you. It's not mandatory. The second thing that, beside the ayat, we said, what is the madrak, the evidence for this maxim? Number one, verses of the Quran. Number two, riwayat. So many. I just mentioned one. Of course, there is another one that says, Imam al-Sadiq, at-taqiyyatu dini wa dinu abai. Dini. It's my tradition and the tradition of my forefathers. At-taqiyyatu dini. Deen means tradition here. In this sense, in this context, it means my tradition, dini, wa dinu abai. Don't go and try to be brave and go somewhere and curse their khulafa. It's not good. It's not good. Even if they don't kill you. Even if they don't kill you. There is a debate now, today, among many in Iran and Syria and Lebanon, Iraq, that should we curse the khulafa? Some people say yes, we have to show the truth. If I don't say the truth, you don't say, who's going to say the truth? The new generation is going to be misled. So we have to tell the people the truth. This is the argument of Yasser al-Habib. Okay? Yasser al-Khabith.
He's in London, right?
He's in London. He sits in front of television, he curses Umar, Abu Bakr, Aisha, Hafsa, blah, 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 blah. Because he says, we have to tell the people the truth. But then, how about if this person is killed in Egypt, this one they bomb in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and this and this. You know, and a security, an intelligent officer told me in Iraq, he told me personally. He said, when we captured those ISIS, some of them are boys, 16, 17 years old, completely brainwashed. So we try to find out why this boy, he left his school and he joined ISIS and he wants to kill himself and kill others. We found out that in the process of brainwashing them, they show them the shows of Yasser al-Habib on television. How he curses Abu Bakr and Umar and Aisha and Uthman and blah, 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 for 1 week. So they let their anger boils against the Shia. And they think that this is what all Shia do. This is one of the ways of provoking them against the Shia. See? So this is not good. Here you have to use taqiyya. You have to use taqiyya. I use taqiyya, but in a smart way, in Chino Hills Masjid. Did I tell you this story? 2 years ago we had a debate. At the end of the debate was going to finish. The Imam of the Masjid, this time the Imam, he said, can I ask you a question? Yes. He wanted to trap me. Good Imam, alhamdulillah, but you know. He said, do you like Abu Bakr and Umar or not? So what should I say here? I live in America. I don't live in Saudi Arabia. Should I tell him I do? No, I don't. I don't. Should I be rude to him in his masjid and say no because they are wicked? Neither this one.
You can say you disagree.
I said it. I made him get the conclusion. I told him, before I answer this question, did you hear about Raziyatul Khamis, the catastrophe of Thursday? He said, what is catastrophe? I said, you never heard about it? He said, no. I said, 7 places in Sahih al-Bukhari. You are a sheikh, you are an imam. You must know these things. by heart. It's in 7 different locations in Sahih al-Bukhari. The Prophet gathered. Then I turned to the masjid, the people in the masjid. There were about 200 people. Any one of you heard of this? None. Ajib. The director, doctor, how about you? Director of the masjid. Did you hear about this? No. I said, this story is very popular. See, you don't read your own books. This is the problem. 4 days before the death of the Prophet says, according to the Bukhari, according to Ibn Abbas, this is recorded in your most sacred books. The Prophet said, "Ituni bidawat wa qirtas li'aktuba lakum kitaban lan tadillu ba'di abada." So they were divided. Some of them would say, the Prophet is asking for pen and paper, let's give him, let's see what he wants to say. The other would say, no, leave him alone. Here, they heard the voice of Umar saying, he is hallucinating. Leave him. The book of God suffices us. Hasbuna kitabullah. They were gazing at me, looking as if I'm saying something for the first time. I said, Sheikh, this is in Sahih al-Bukhari. He said, I never heard of this. I said then, after looking at this hadith, what do you want me to do with Umar and Abu Bakr? He said nothing. Wallah al-azim. Alhamdulillah, peaceful conclusion. With so many pictures at the end, how they came. And the Sheikh said to me, send me this. I told him, before I go tonight to bed, I will send you the 7 references and only in Sahih al-Bukhari, other than Sahih Muslim, Tirmidhi. I'm just mentioning one source. So here you have to speak it, but in a nice way. In a nice way. Don't say, yes, I curse, yes, I love, yes, I hate. You don't have to. Tell them the reason. Otherwise, I have no personal problem with this person or that one. I have no personal problem. My religion has to be respected. Okay. The other thing beside ayat and riwayat, and I conclude with this, is what? Is aql, rationality. And this is considered one of the al-mustaqillat al-aqliyah. What does it mean, al-mustaqillat? It means independent rationalities. Independent rationalities. What does it mean? Independent rationalities.
Each person has to use their own reasoning?
No, it means that regardless of what religion says, my brain, my reason says this is right or this is wrong. Even if I don't read in a Bible, in a Torah, in a Quran, that dhulm, injustice is wrong. Even if there is nowhere it's found it's wrong. My reason tells me it's wrong. This is mustaqillat. It has nothing to do with religion. Reason dictates that injustice is bad. Same thing with taqiyya. Reason says, even if there is no evidence in the Quran, reason says that you have to protect yourself. God does not want you to go and get shot every time you say a sentence. How about your family? How about your society? How about your community? How about your progress? How can you serve if you always endanger yourself? You go in the middle of enemies and you want to just scream at them and say, you are idiots. And then pop, 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 they kill you. Is this bravery? This is not sacrifice. This is not shahada. This is not martyrdom. This is a craziness. So you have to protect yourself in order for you to do a bigger role. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.